Welcome to the Miami Sports Vibes podcast with Nando Diaz. Now for the West, this right here, we know the West has all these top teams, great all-stars. This one gets really tricky as well. So for my 5 Western Conference all-stars, the starters, number 1, I'm going with Jokic. First of all, Jokic, right now, he should be MVP. As of right now, that would be my lock for MVP. I mean, what he does is insane. He's nearly averaging a triple-double. But, people like to say LeBron's a front runner right now. You know what? It's pretty ridiculous to me. I don't know what it is. I think because Jokic doesn't look cool. He's not flashy, like as far as dribbling the ball, handling the ball. I don't know what it is. It's just something about this whole thing where Jokic doesn't get the respect he deserves still, even though he's going to be a starter, even though he's in the MVP race. I mean, this dude should be running away with this MVP. He's averaging 26.7 points a game, 11.3 rebounds, 8.6 assists, second in the league in PER. Come on. This is a big man doing this. And you watch him, you look at him, and you don't know basketball, you think that guy can't play. He's not in the best shape, and he still puts up those numbers. He led them to the Western Conference Finals last year, too. I just wanted to throw that out there. I know we're not talking about MVP stuff right now, but I wanted to show Jokic some love there. For the other 4 starters, I'm going with Curry. I think Curry deserves it. 29.9 points a game this year. He's second in the league. 5.4 rebounds, 5.9 assists. The assists could be better, but Draymond's leading in the assist category over there because, that's kind of Draymond. He doesn't really put up points, but he defends well, rebounds, and assists. He's kind of bringing the ball up. So if Curry's going to be putting up all these points, you kind of understand the assists going down if you got a guy like Draymond next to you. So I'm not knocking him for that. I think Curry is an MVP candidate. The way he's playing, leading that team, without Klay Thompson. So that's a lock for a starter. And I got 3 spots left. Obviously, LeBron James, he's going to get the nod. He's averaging 25.6 points, 7.9 rebounds, 7.9 assists. And the Lakers are, I believe, second in the West. He's an MVP candidate. He's won as well. So that's a lock. It's LeBron James. And that's well-deserving. Damian Lillard is the guy that I'm going to have next to Curry. He's averaging 29, 4.4 rebounds, 7.2 assists, and the Blazers are playing pretty good ball. I mean, they lost C.J. McCollum, I thought he could be an all-star the way he was playing, but that injury sidelined him. But you know what? Dame has taken this team under his wing like he does every year. He's putting up great stats, and they're not struggling like last year. Remember last year they were kind of 500, messing around with 500, the 8 seed, the 9 seed. And, they barely got in the playoffs. This year, he says, They got a 15-10 record right now as I'm recording this podcast. And they're trending in the right direction. This Portland team, I don't think they're going to be fighting for a playing game. I think they're a lock for the playoffs. So with that being said, Damian Lillard, he's a starter. No question about it. And for that last spot, I went ahead with Kawhi Leonard. Averaging 26.7 points a game, 5.9 rebounds, 5 assists. The Clippers, like I said, they're up there in the West. They're on a mission this year, and it's behind Kawhi Leonard. So well-deserving right there. So those are my 5 starters for the West. And just like the East, these reserves, this is when it gets tricky. So for my first reserve, this was a no-brainer. I mean, it's Luka. He's averaging 28.5 points a game, 8.7 rebounds, 9.4 assists, second in the NBA in assists. I mean, he's all around, right? But Luka could be better. I think he was, he played better last year, and the numbers are great. But if you watch the games, you can see that something is off with him. I don't know if, maybe he's a little bit out of shape and he's working his way back in, and he's going to take off at some point. But I thought Luka was going to put up even better numbers. And look at me. I'm saying this when he's averaging 28, 8, 9. I mean, it's just, even he said it himself. He says he doesn't even consider him in the MVP race right now. So, I mean, I like that he's being hard on himself, but I mean, to rule him out the All-Star game, I don't know about all that. So, yeah, that's an obvious reserve. There's no doubt about it. Seventh All-Star out of 12. I'm going Paul George. He's injured right now. I don't know if he'll be back for the All-Star game or around that time, but just assuming he would be, what Paul George has done and compared to last year, he's told everybody he's going to have a great offseason. He's going to work on his body. He's going to work on his game, and he's done so. He looks way better under Ty Lue than he did with Doc Rivers. He's averaging 24, 6 rebounds, 5.5 assists all around, and it's also impacting winning. Kawhi's missed some games here and there, but Paul George, he picks up the slack when he's not there, and even when they're together. Paul George if you're comparing it to last year, he deserves it this year. So that's a lock. Next to him at number 8, Anthony Davis. Now, this was tricky for me because Anthony Davis has played way better all his other years. This year, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's tired from that run in the bubble last year, but it's just not the same AD. I mean, he's still averaging 22.9 and 8.6 rebounds. I mean, so he's getting things done. He's not out there doing nothing. But, you know, we hold these all-stars to such a high standard, and understandably so. I mean, they're all-stars because they do this consistently. And I haven't seen that much from Davis this year. But you know what? They're the Lakers. They're a top team in the West, and you can't leave him out of there. So it's Anthony Davis, so that's a lock for me at number 8. At number 9, I'm going Rudy Gobert. Okay, here's the thing. He's averaging 14 points a game, 13.4 rebounds, 2.8 blocks. The Jazz have the best record in the West. So you're going to have to put a Jazz up there, maybe even 2. So, and Mitchell, to me, he hasn't been the same player. He hasn't been the same player this year. He's not really shooting it well. You know, he's still averaging a lot of points, don't get me wrong. But like I said, we're holding these guys to a high standard. And I think Gobert's a more, eye-popping guy here. I mean, 14 and 13, 2.8 blocks, top seed in the West. I got to include him in there. I'm not a fan of him personally, but it's not about that. So I got to Gobert at number 9. Now there's 3 spots left. This is when it gets tricky because there's a lot of great candidates here in the West. So I'm going to share it with you. Here's my candidates. De'Aaron Fox, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeMar DeRozan, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, Donovan Mitchell, and SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. How am I going to fit 3 guys in there? It's tough. And you can make a case for all of these guys. You can literally make a case for every single one of these candidates to fit in those last 3 spots. But for number 10, I'm picking Booker. Now, Booker has not been as great as he should be. But you know what? The Suns are a top 5 team in the West, and you can't sleep on that. I think that deserves credit. CP3 has been such an important piece to that Suns team, but his numbers aren't as great as Booker's. So you have to pick one of them, since they're top 5. And I'm going to go ahead with Booker. He's averaging 24.4 points a game, 4.2 assists. So the assists are down. But, hey, top 5 team in the West, that's, how hard that conference is. So I'm blocking in Booker, and that leaves me with 2 spots left. Man. Okay. For the 11th spot, I'm going with De'Aaron Fox. All right, his improvements every year is just like Zach LaVine. Like, they've gone up every single year. And he plays for a bad team, but he's doing the best he can, and he's improving everywhere defensively. Just doing what he can with the roster he has. He's averaging 23.4 points a game, 3.4 rebounds, 6.7 assists, and he's also one of the best players in the clutch in the fourth quarter. De'Aaron Fox has been on a tear. And the Sacramento Kings, believe it or not, they're a top 8 team right now in the West. Yes, the Sacramento Kings are actually a top 8 team in the West. And that's behind De'Aaron Fox. And I honestly think he's put up 40 points. I think two 40-point games this year. And his clutch scoring, his impact in that team's success and winning when they do win. I watch a lot of Kings games, so I watch Fox closely, and I think he's deserving for it. So I'm locking in Fox at number 11. Now for the last spot. I mean, you got the argument here with Donovan Mitchell. You know, they're a top seed in the West and the whole NBA. I mean, do you want to put 2 Jazz in there? You have that argument. You got Zion Williamson improving. He's averaging 24.3. You got Ingram out there, you know, doing a little bit of everything. 23.9 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Gilgeous-Alexander playing all around, 22.6, 6.5 assists, 5.5 rebounds. But if I had to come down to one, I'm going to go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, I know he plays for the Thunder. I know they don't have a good record. But, I mean, he's averaging 22.6 again. 5.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists. The dude is deserving for this. I honestly pick him. So with my last spot, I'm leaving out Zion. I'm leaving out Mitchell. I'm leaving out Ingram. You can't win here. You're going to leave out great talent. This is so hard. And I feel like if you guys take the time to do this on your own, picking 12 of these guys only, I mean, it's difficult. So I know I might get a lot of stuff for picking SGA here, but I'm riding with him, and I think he's deserving for it. I really do. Those are my All-Stars for the West. So all of you guys listening, just like I said with the Eastern Conference All-Stars, I want to hear your feedback on the Western Conference as well, because that stuff is fun. I'm always down to have a conversation. I think All-Star time, it's so fun to see, you know, who's deserving of it. Who do you think? Who do I think? Getting different perspective on it. I love that stuff. So please reach out to me on Twitter at SportsVibes305. Let me know what you think. Let me know your 12 selections. Let me know who you would sub out. Let me know if you want Zion. I want to hear all that stuff.